fortunate right now. So the sun was out today.
Yeah. Sometimes that sun will fool you though. It'll be shining bright. You come outside like boom.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll take the sun. Sometimes the sun's it could be like 15 degrees, and all I need is the sun just to feel a little bit better.
Yeah. I feel it, man. But you know what? What was that? Yesterday? It was real nice.
Yes, it was mid-50s.
Yeah.
It was windy. Super windy.
I think I got it to about 60 something.
It was close. It was close.
Yep. And next Thursday is supposed to be the same.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I would too, man. But I'd rather it be in this than all that snow outside. Though.
Yeah.
I take cold any day than all that snow.
Absolutely. I don't like the snow.
Yeah.
For me, it's like an extra hazard or a hassle, right? Because you got to like go shovel the driveway, or you got to make sure that your windshield wipers are up so they're not stuck to your windshield when you come out because everything iced over. So yeah, it's I'm cool with the weather right now.
Yeah. So what's been going on, man?
Not much. 16 days out from a fight. WFC 147 down in Northfield Park at the MGM.
Nice.
Got a game opponent. He's 2-0 as well. 2-0 as well. So it's going to be someone's O. It has to go. And he's a younger guy. I'm about a decade his senior. He's a wrestler as well. And it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight. So we'll see how it goes. I've been training hard. I've been working hard. So it really just comes down to putting it all on the table when it matters.
So you got a theme song you come out to all the time?
I don't. I kind of do it on the whim, right? So like my past two fights, the songs have been different, but I did not pick my song until I was prompted to, like at the last minute. They're like, fighters, you have to come pick your song now, and I don't think about it, right? I think about it sometimes. I'm like, man, this would be an awesome song to come out to, but like when you get there that day, you don't think about don't think about what song you're gonna come out to. You're just
about bashing somebody. Yeah, you put them out winning, you know. So
or whatever your mind's on, you know, you're just focused. That's the last thing you want to worry about is what your song is. So there's a lot of stuff you just try to take care of like prior.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just get lost in the sauce and you don't.
I got a buddy, you know, his buddy is a boxer. So he come out sometime, you know, he be at his show. So he come out with a microphone, he be rapping, you know, going down the aisle while, you know, while the entourage, everybody behind him and everything.
See, that's like cool though, because like you're like your own hype man doing that. If you're boxing, you get to come out like rapping what you like, you know what I mean? So you get to like hype yourself up into it, and you got your whole entourage. That's cool. Boxing's a tough sport. So I came up wrestling my whole life. I was a grappler, you know, I fought a lot by default. Short, nerdy kid with glasses. I was in a whole bunch of different schools before I graduated. So like fighting was never foreign to me, but formally learn how to strike, like in boxing or taekwondo or any of those, was a very difficult skill for me to learn, just because I was trying to get it to translate. And so anybody who does boxing or pure striking, hats off to them. It's super hard.
Oh, that's super hard, man. But you do it all, because that MMA, man, that's everything.
You have to know it to beat it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I came into this, like I said, just knowing I was basically a street brawler / wrestler, right? That's just
like Mike Tyson was a street brawler, just came in.
But that's what it was, and but I had to reform myself to figure out how I was going to be able to excel in it, right? So a lot of the stuff came down to watching film, training at different gyms, picking the brains of boxers, or doing stuff that was taking me out of my comfort zone that I just don't like to do. And that helped me along the way, but I had to be patient with myself to do it, because I'd get frustrated, right? Because I wasn't a super good wrestler, but I was good enough to the point where I understood what my body mechanics are and what I'm capable of. I could not get what I was capable of to translate into striking, and it was so frustrating for me for a long time, It's like anything, right? If anybody transitions from one sport to another, unless you're an absolute freak, it's going to take time,
Yeah.
even though you may be a conditioned athlete.
Yeah.
So, just learning, just constantly trying to be a student.
Yeah.
You know, that helped me a lot.
So how old were you when you decided to do this, competition, MMA and
I want to say 28.
that's awesome, man.
28.
Because I know a lot of them, they be like started when they were like real, like super young, probably what? Start wrestling when they like in elementary, junior high.
Yeah, 5, 6 years old, or you got the people that have their kids in some sort of like jujitsu or taekwondo throughout the years, or they just figure out what they would like, and it kind of evolves, right? All this evolves into something. So, like for me, it was wrestling. I didn't do what I wanted to when I was younger. I wanted to go wrestle in college. I didn't wrestle in college, and I kind of let that have a chip on my shoulder, right? And it was one of those things where, as I got older, it could have been me. It could be me just wanting to prove something to myself. It could be me chasing my youth at this point. I don't know, but I enjoy it. It was always something that I really, really drew a passion for, and I just kind of chased it.
So do you get butterflies or whatever? You about to have a fight?
Nerves?
Yeah. We're like, oh man, you get nervous, and
So I feel like anybody who says they don't get nervous, that's just a lie.
Crap.
Yeah, because you're preparing. You're trying to prepare for somebody that you know is going to intentionally try to harm you, like you were trying to harm them. But it's not even, the way I see it is, it's like I'm not even trying to harm you. I'm just trying to win. This is sport, right? I see this as competition, so I have to prepare myself for competition. But there's also an animalistic sense of violence that comes in this, right? So like, that's where people's grit comes in. That's where they're the roughness and where they're at in the middle of it, right? Some people can be composed. Some people just kind of get lost in it. But for me, I mean, it feels like I'm just getting chased by a bear up until the fight, because I'm trying to balance out life. I work a 40 an hour a week job plus, where we do general
physical work.
General physical labor, but not only that, but full renovations and rehabs, right? So I'm dealing with anything and everything in a grand scale of a house. And then I have to leave there. Sometimes I drive a half hour, sometimes I drive an hour just to get to the gym. I train for 2 hours, and then I take myself home. Some nights I don't get home till 9:30, 10. My days start at 6:37. So, that's like a normal day in the midst of all this. And then it's like the first thing you think about and the last thing you think about before you go to bed. And it's a crazy thing and a crazy place to be in. And it's like, for your nerves to be set into a spot where they almost control you, like they're able to affect your mood, your sleep, your
discipline,
appetite. Oh yeah, well that's where the discipline comes in, because if you're not able to have that, that's when everything will become overwhelming. It's it's a crazy dynamic, man.
And that's what made greatness too. You working, and then you going to the gym, to train and everything. I'm like, that's what it takes, though.
Man,
that's what made champions.
The motivation, that just comes in moments. It comes and goes. But it's discipline. You just have to have the discipline. A lot of the times I'm just dragging myself there. Yesterday was definitely not one of the days I wanted to go train. I was beat down. I went out and I sparred with a guy who was 2 weight classes above me, a middleweight who was a 185er, and then a heavyweight pro, and then the Muay Thai instructor who's probably about 30 pounds heavier than me. And they're dogs, right? But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go spar. I didn't want to do any of that. I just worked all day, but I went and did it.
So after you did that, didn't that make you feel better?
I always feel better
Yeah.
after I do it because when I lay my head down at night and I lay and I think about it and I review my day about the things that I didn't do, I don't sleep well because I felt like I could have did more.
Right.
And then I don't think there's anybody out there that's going to be more cynical of me than me.
Right.
Because I have to be. I have to have the integrity to hold myself accountable and to do these things because a lot of the times, you're not always going to have that. You have to have the honor of doing it yourself, and as long as I'm true, I'll be okay. But as soon as I start lying to myself, that's when it's not really going to work out too well, right?
Yeah. Wow, man, that's kind of. So what weight class are you?
I am 135.
135.
I walk around, not lately. I usually walk around at like 145, 150. I've been kind of light lately. So
that's in that MMA, that's considered as what class? Like
bantamweight. So it's like the second lowest.
So after that, it's okay.
It's a flyweight, 125, and that's the cutoff for men.
So, I mean, so that's above featherweight and all that stuff where they don't have that. That's just in boxing or whatever.
So boxing weight classes and MMA weight classes are completely different.
Okay.
It's just by how the weight class themselves and what they class them as. Like they have 25, 35, 45 in boxing. They have 32, 38. What else? No, they have 32, 41, 49. They just have them in periodic different weight classes. The same thing with wrestling. High school wrestling is the same way. So you basically go off of like what your format of your sport is, more or less. But no, I'm definitely a lightweight, a lighter weight guy. Yeah.
They say say you're not a wrestler, but you're just strong. You can wrestle, but you're not a trained wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And they say a real wrestler, if you somewhere else wrestling him, say you beat him, but they say it's something that if you on his turf, like in that ring, in that circle, you would never beat him. Yeah, that's what I hear, and they, I don't know if it's a comfort zone thing or whatever.
So they say American folk style wrestling, which is what you see in high schools and colleges.
Start on the floor on their knees.
Yeah, well, they literally say that style of wrestling compared to all the other grappling styles or any other sport in mixed martial arts is probably the most effective just based upon the cardio you need for it, the skill you need for it, and not only that, but the constant pace. A wrestling pace is a very, very high pace. It's a lot of cardio. It's just laborious, right? And they say they become the best fighters just because, like, a wrestler is constantly trying to move for position. They're trying to get you on your back or put you in an off position. So a lot of fighting styles or movements, they're all based upon angles and positioning, just the same as wrestling is, right? Wrestling's just way more aggressive and way more smash mouth. And there was a time in the 1930s where Japan Jigoro Kano, who was the grandfather of judo, sent over gentlemen to come study American wrestling because traditional American wrestling was beating traditional Japanese judo. And the instructor was getting very, the master instructor, he almost felt like he was being dishonored. So he was sending over recruits over to the United States to come figure it out. And, it's cool because the sport of wrestling has evolved with all the other sports that have came out, like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and everything else, to the point where it makes it that much more dangerous and that much more fun.
Because I asked that question because I had a buddy, we was in high school at the time, and he's a state champion wrestler. And we was in their basement And we got to wrestle. He position everything, and I whooped him like it was nothing. I was like, I'm scratching my head like, wait a minute, how is that possible? Then we tried it again. And I whooped him every time. I said, what? That's when they were saying, okay, now it's a difference. They say if he was in his circle, like actually on his turf, on that mat, he would have whooped me. That's what they say. That's why I said, of course, and I don't know.
I feel like there's just an element of where you are with it, and especially if you were a state champ wrestler, especially in Ohio, you're not a slouch by any means.
Right.
Most state champ wrestlers that come out of Ohio are going off to a Division I college somewhere if they choose to wrestle.
And I don't know if it was because it's the shape that I was in as well.
I don't know. It could have been. I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this right now. Just because your boy was a state champ wrestler does not mean he was in wrestling shape when you threw him around. Being in that kind of shape takes a lot, man. And it takes a lot out of you to be in consistent shape like that. Because, by the time you get to state, you're already 4 months in your season. You're feeling good. Everything's on autopilot. You're basically just a walking animal, right?
Yeah.
Because you're trained. You're on a kill course to what you need to get to. And that's what his is. I can't tell you how many state champions I've seen over the years turn around. I'll see them in the summer and they got bellies 30 pounds heavier. And I'm like, how are you that fat? He's like, I don't got to cut weight right now. And then they'll shred it all off. They'll peel off the 20, 30 pounds.
It's crazy how they do it. They do it real fast, too.
I can pull off the weight if I need to, but I've never been put in a position where I had to slam off as much as some of these guys do.
And that's dangerous, though.
Nor would I put myself in that position. Yeah. It's so strenuous, man. But not only that, why would you want to suffer like that?
Mentally and physically.
I feel like everybody should go through some sort of fasting, or some sort of weight cut to the point where, because you're able to, you really figure out who you are, right? Almost how I was talking about the meditation and everything else.
You got to know your body, too.
Right. Just to go through a fast, right? And because you're able to, it helps you detox. It helps you just kind of get a cleanliness about you, and it lets you just think sometimes. It actually brings out, I don't know, the pure form of things,
Yeah. But, I think it's good to do that, because, like you say, everybody need that, the detox, and it's just a good thing. It's a health thing, basically.
Do you do anything like detox or stay up on your? Because you said
I used to.
You used to be a bodybuilder and you used to do comps and stuff like that. And
I still detox, but it ain't good to do it all the time.
No.
But I still do that, Like I say, I started working out when I was 11 years old. And my first competition, I was 16 years old. So my first competition when I was 16 years old.
And was that powerlifting or was that bodybuilding?
Bodybuilding.
No doubt.
So I was supposed to be going to teenage competitions, but I only been in maybe 2 teenage competitions. But all the other competitions, even my first competition, I was going against grown men.
So you bumped up. So they bumped you up into the adult class.
See what it was. My first competition, I didn't go in to win. I didn't know anything about it. I went in just for homework.
To gauge where you were at, more or less?
Like to how to do it, okay, how to go about it. So I got in competition for that, but I took a 5th place.
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot of people, it was a lot of competitors.
Right.
And I took a 5th, I'm like, these were grown men I was going against, So I only been in 2 teenage competitions.
Well, that had to have made you feel good, though,
Yeah,
right?
it did. Yep.
But then also, that's what I meant. It was able to gauge where you were at because you really didn't know, right?
Right.
Until you put yourself out there. And I feel like that's a lot of things. You don't really know where you're at until you put yourself in the deep end on things.
Yeah.
Because you're able to figure it out as you go. And sometimes just the experience was the best teacher. How many comps did you do after that? Just you did 2 teenage and then you immediately went to the adult?
Yeah.
No doubt.
And it was a good experience, I tell you that, though. And people was like, you don't need what? How? What? That's it. It was like.
Did you travel a lot?
No, I didn't travel. I traveled, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of politics in that. So I'm like, no, this ain't for me. Plus, I love eating. I love eating, man. So, bodybuilding, you gotta watch that. I mean,
were you like one of the guys that was waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning just to eat and go back to sleep?
Man, I ate around the clock. But you know what? I turned into muscle every time I ate. I just worked out. I did things they say you can't do.
Yeah.
So.
Same. I do the same thing.
Yeah. And it works, but when it comes to competition time, man, see, it has a lot to do with family genetics as well. So it was hard for me to cut up. I had to do a special diet to cut up to see something. Some people just
natural,
natural genetically. I'm like, what the? I got a buddy, he could be sitting there eating McDonald's the day of competition, just still ripped up. I'm like, man, how in the world?
That's me.
Then I got a buddy, he said, every day, drink 40 ounces every day. Cut, rip, stomach like he took a knife and just carved it.
Mm-hmm.
How? That's family genetics. For me to get like that, man, I had a diet. I said, you know what? I love eating, going powerlifting competitions, because you ain't got to, you can look any kind of way doing that, so you just got to make your weight class.
Right.
So,
yeah, you just have to make your weight class.
Yeah.
But so I have a few buddies that did the same thing, but they were saying counting their macros, making sure everything was good. They're like, oh, I got to make sure I start cutting my water so I'm nice and lean for my show. And we're on two different sides of the spectrum with dieting and cutting weight and everything else. But they think I'm crazy, right? Because these guys, they're disciplined, they're on a schedule. And everything is so routine and calculated for how long? 10 minutes of competition? Up to the 10 minutes of competition? Whatever it is, right?
It's mind over matter with everything,
right.
Too, man. It's like...
So it's the same thing. I'm doing all this training for 9 minutes at most. At most, if it goes that far, right? But I'm a little bit on the crazier end. Like, I don't meal prep. I don't do any of these things. My buddies make fun of me because I literally eat whatever I want. They're like, I don't understand. They're like, you eat whatever you want. You do whatever you want.
You can do that.
You train however you want. And I'm like, but I train hard, So whatever I eat, I probably burn off like a hummingbird anyways. I'm just all over the place. But everybody's body chemistry is different. What works for some people doesn't work for other people. And you're talking about family genetics. There ain't not one person in my family that looks like me. I'm probably in the best shape out of the entire family. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Mm-hmm. I feel like it starts off with a good base when you're young, right? If you're able to establish like a decent foundation, and what you do after that. And I also feel like, life will turn your body against you sometimes too. Yeah. Because, if you have kids, if you're a father, if stress, depending on how much you're working.
It's life, period.
If I'm sitting in an office as compared to working at a day job on a construction site, these are all different factors that people don't have the same luxury of being able to delegate and pull out which ones they have and which ones they don't. And that's what makes it difficult to find something that works. It's all about the balance, but you have to figure it out.
So I'm like, man, going to that powerlifting competition, like I say, just, meet your weight class and there it is, but you got to eat good to be strong. You got to lift heavy. But it's still, you have to know what you're doing because, see, in powerlifting, say you about to hit the weight bench, about to see how much you can bench. And then it was time to warm up. You got to know how many times to warm up. You got to know how many reps. See, you got to calculate all that because if you do too much,
you're gonna burn yourself out.
You're gonna be the strongest guy in there, but you're gonna be the weakest if you burn yourself out before the lift.
So say if you were gonna lift heavy, right? So how much of the weight would you do leading up to the? Would it be like a third or a half of the weight, or would you get close to what you were about to do?
Not even the real lightweight, the lightest weight, like a feather.
Yeah.
You probably want to hit that bench maybe once or twice, sometime maybe once, to just do some reps, maybe 10 reps, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Because I'm telling you, that's going to burn, because each time, say whatever weight you're going to start out with, let's just say they start out with 2 1/4 on the bench.
Right.
You're going to press that one time, rack it. Then the next person, then they're going to go up. They're going to keep going up.
Right. Pyramid.
Yep. So, and then the crazy part about that, if you on a bench, you got a judge sitting here, and you got a judge sitting over here. And they watching. You got to keep your head flat on the bench. You got to keep your feet flat on the floor. You got to keep your back and your butt flat on that bench. You see some people, when they bench, they arch, they do all kind of stuff. You can't do none of that.
I don't even understand how they do that.
Because they'll call that a red light if you do that.
I was always the guy that would that had my back flat on the bench, but I'd cross my feet. That's what I would do. That was just like, but it helped me isolate my core a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Just by.
But that's that's working out. That's cool. But in competition, there's certain rules. So you can't do that.
Like anything, right?
Yeah. And then a lot of people was coming in with
Did you have to go all the way down to the chest, or was it just like to it?
No.
Yeah.
You gotta touch that chest. You got you can either take it off the bar yourself, or somebody standing over you to help lift it.
Like an assist, right?
But when you come down, you got it. So when you bring it down, you gotta hit the chest. You cannot lift it off your chest until he say lift.
Also, there's a pause.
Yeah, it's a pause. You got to lay it on there.
Oh.
Then when he say lift, you lift it. Then you got to stay locked out like this until he say rack it. Then you rack it.
Oh, so he calls your push and your rack.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's tough. And then there's a lot of guys and women. They wear these certain suits, the singlet.
I've seen those.
Lift suits, so make you bench or squat, make you lift between 30, 40, 50, 80 to 100 more pounds.
Ronnie Coleman was good for that.
Man, so I'm like, I never use one of them suits. Never. And then it takes like 2 or 3 people to get you in it because it's real tight.
Oh, because of the sleeves, so you can't get them up over their shoulders.
And that's what make you spring, to help you lift too.
Mm-hmm.
So people used to look at me. I come in, with my singlet. I hate wearing that doggone singlet. But anyway. I come in wearing that. I just have my weight belt on my wristbands. They looking at me like I'm the only one that's like that too. In the competition, I'm like, I don't need that,
Right.
So a lot of them guys, I've been training since I was, since I was real young. 11 years old. These people have been training. They didn't start training till later, but they start taking all those roids and stuff. So yeah, they were stronger than me, because of that. But I was right behind them, and I hung with them.
So I remember there was a big, like just juice push probably around that time, and like I'm tailing you a little bit, but not by much. But there was an era where that's what it was, man.
Even in the 80s,
even with the test and the HGH and everything else, man. Even people are like, it's not steroids. It's like it's steroids.
Yeah, what is it? It ain't water.
Yeah, it ain't water. They're trying to justify it. I don't do that. And they come to find out that like everything that they're using is like FDA banned anyways. It's like, come on, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
See, I was a 505 lifter, 500 pound 505 lifter. So, bench. But you know what? I blew my shoulder out, my rotating cuff. I knew better, but I was young and just, I come in the gym, my buddies in the gym already, the music blasting, they in there just fired up working out. So I come in the gym, man, listen. So I hit the bench. They probably pressing maybe 315. I come in there, now you're supposed to warm up. I don't care how strong you are. You're supposed to warm up, common sense there. But I just fired up, come in, jump on the bench, hit about 15 reps to 315, jump on the incline. Man, I was doing crazy stuff like that, back in the day when I was younger, but it caught up with me, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care who you are, how strong you are, it's gonna catch up with
I
you.
feel like a lot of that stuff does when you're young. You
Till your
just kind
joints
of
up.
rip it up.
Yeah,
Yep.
but that's why you ain't supposed to rep with heavyweight. Just lightweight you can rep with, you know. So
I never really put up like a whole bunch of heavyweight. The most I ever weighed, I was probably 171, and I almost hit 3. I got 295.
that's still good.
And so that was the biggest I ever got, you know. But I wasn't like a crazy deadlifter. My squat wasn't really good. I had a lot of good calisthenics, right? I was, for the most part, a lot of my strength and motion activities were good. You know, my tendons and all that. But like, you know,
And those are the important things right there.
so, but over the years, you know, I mean, I gotta take care of all that stuff because there's a lot of stuff that I could go do, like how you're saying, like walk into a gym and cold start. I can't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go and I gotta stretch out and I gotta make sure because otherwise, it's not that I can't, but the next day I'll pay for it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? My body just doesn't cooperate as much as it does. So it's there's a learning curve on that too because you got to adapt to it.
Yeah.
If you want to do what you like to do, and if you want to do it the right way, you have to adapt eventually, just to get by.
And then I got to a size where I'll say I was in my 30s at my peak. So I got to a certain size where I couldn't even wear clothes, man. I mean, I got so big, it was crazy, man. You know, I was proportionally like I walked out of a magazine.
Really?
But it's very frustrating when you can't buy clothes. And everything that you buy had to be tailored any way. And that's money.
Oh yeah.
You know,
hey, your biggest, how much did you weigh?
265. But for my height.
What are you, 5'6"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, 265 solid muscle. I mean, that's
big.
Yeah. So I was wide. I was twice the size, 3 times the size I, you know.
Right.
And you know, my chest. I used to rest my chin on my chest.
Because it was just there.
Yeah.
Right.
It was crazy. My traps was up, looked like a vulture. You know, legs, my thighs were so big, I couldn't wear jeans. I couldn't wear anything, man. So I'm at the mall trying on clothes and stuff. You know, no, I don't even know why I was there, but you know, I'm just hoping. You know,
hoping it was gonna work, right?
Dude, when I say I was so mad, and I don't even cuss that much, man. I don't even, man. People was walking by. They heard me in there mad cussing and stuff in the fitting room. I said, you know what? I'm done.
I'm done.
But what I started dropping once I tore my rotating cuff, that took me out of competition.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, you know. Then I had the ACL operation. I'm like, I just went downhill just like that, you know. So
did you just lose like a whole bunch of weight, or
I lost a lot of muscle.
Mass.
I did drop weight as well.
Yeah.
You know, but so what I do now, I just goof around. I just goof around just to maintain what I have left. Let's put it that way. What I got left, you know. So I don't call it working out. I just goof around at the gym, you know, because it's in me. That's my life, man.
Yeah, you don't call it working out because you know what working out is.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it's nowhere near on the scale of what you were doing, but it's still keeping you where you would like to be, like in that pocket.
So what I do, when I see the younger crowd doing that, you know, I see a lot of guys in there, they hitting the gym, you know, they looking good, you know, they pushing that heavy weight. I said, man, I like seeing that. I said, you remind me of me when I was your age. I said, I pass the torch to you guys. Just don't let me down. I said, keep that torch burning. And so when it's your time to pass that torch, continue passing that torch.
Yeah.
You know, because I like seeing that. I see some guys come home from the joint. You know, they look good. You know, they're in shape. You know, and mess with you, know, they just wither away. I'm like, dude, you should have kept that up, man.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I got something like that because I love working out. I was always into fitness. You know, so
I think it just does something for me mentally. I don't even think it's so much like it was so engraved to do it because let's be real. There's some days where you just don't want to do it.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like the aftermath of what I get after it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's exercise your mind, body, and soul.
It does. It does.
You know.
Because there's some days where I can just go into the gym I could just be having just a trash day where it's just terrible. I don't want to talk to nobody. Everybody, I'm just irritable. Everybody's on my last one.
And you happy after you did it.
And I'm happy after I leave out of there. Like I didn't even have a bad day. And it's crazy what that will do to you. And there's a level of peace in something that you find enjoyable along those lines. It could be lifting, it could be fighting, it could be painting, it could be riding a bike, it could be doing whatever. But it's something that sets it off for you. Not everybody's into the same thing, and it's just finding your niche of what you like to, what puts you in that zone. Because I feel like everybody needs that.
So you about to be got that fight coming up, and you got the guys on a roster and everything, and
Oh yeah.
man. So how you feeling though?
I'm not bad. A little beat up, but it's fight camp. Nerves are, like I said, you're gonna have them, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, I look at all of this, and I'm fortunate, and I'm very grateful that I get to even be doing a lot of this stuff that I would like to, because life's tough, right? Life's just not easy in general.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been fighting all the time, but how many competitions that have you been in a lot of competitions or?
So since I got back into all this, I probably wrestled in about 5 college tournaments. I placed in one of them. I did other random wrestling tournaments, and then probably competed in 6 jiu-jitsu tournaments. I won 3 of them, and I'm 2-0 in MMA. I boxed over last summer. I lost by a first round TKO, and he was tough. He caught me in the corner, and I did things that I shouldn't have been doing anyways. I just wasn't. I feel like I just kind of panicked, and didn't come out my way then. And I've been gnawing on that one for a little bit over the summer. So this whole time I've been training a little bit extra hard because I just don't. I don't like to let myself down.
Right. This is awesome though. This is my first MMA, fighter interview that, so this is awesome, man.
It's cool that I got to speak to somebody that I had a lot of friends who used to bodybuild and stuff like that, and I know what that takes. And I'm gonna tell you this because I want you to know that I relate, man. That bodybuilding, that powerlifting, it runs the same lines of the MMA. There's not much money in it. You do it because you love it. You do it for the love of it and the glory of it. I'm not like I said, man. I don't get no money. I may get maybe a little bit of clout or whatever, but I don't even see it as that, right?
But you know what? You could pick some good money up by you having that background like that as a personal bodyguard, though.
Right. You could do that or instruct, right?
Yeah.
And that would be one of my big things is because I like what you said. Is I want to pass this torch, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I've had a lot of great mentors that have came into my life, but I was young and dumb back then, and I never realized how great these people were until I got older.
Right.
And when I got older, I was like, man, these guys were geniuses, and I was just a dummy. And so, I try to pay attention a lot more, and I try to give back, especially to the youth, by experience, right? Because one thing that a lot of the people that helped me, that got me to pay attention to them was hey, I've been in that position before. I would do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then there was times where I listened to them. No, let me repeat that. I heard them. I did not listen to them. And then after the fact, after the whole tape played out, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, he was right. He was right. And I just want to hopefully help out, and so people don't have to go through the goofy stuff that you can prevent yourself from in life.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's not easy. Everyone's just trying to get by, and for the most part, live an honest one from what I see.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like anybody who isn't, that's their own personal MO, but that doesn't concern me. I know where I want to be.
Yeah. So you on social media?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So let everybody know where you will be found at.
I got a Facebook, Mason Butler, and then over on Instagram it's Murda SGX, and yeah, check it out. Like I said, I got the fight coming up, WFC 147 in Northfield Park over at the MGM, and yeah, man, just been grinding along, and I want to thank you, and I appreciate you having me on and everything.
Anytime.
And I just want to give a shout out to the gyms, man. Hooligans Boxing, MMA, Upgraded Industries, the fight sponsors, Robusto and Breyer. We got Marshall Goldman, Peninsula Construction. We got a whole bunch of them on there. Dick Whip. Any of the people that I did not mention, you know where you're at. And I'm just blessed and fortunate, man. I appreciate you opening your format of what you now love to do for me to come on and express mine to you, and we get to just vibe, man. It's a cool thing to just do because, like I said, and we spoke about earlier, when do you really get the opportunity to do such a thing like this? You know, so it's awesome, man.
We don't want you to be a stranger either.
I'm around.
Yeah.
I'm around. Listen, I'm about like a smooth 12 minutes away from here.
Okay.
Give me a call. You just want to wrap it up. Give me a call and we can do it, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we could always discuss the events that you have and stuff. Yeah.
Or anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, if you got something you're like, you know what, I want to bring him in just to talk about whatever. You haven't. I'm with whatever, man.
That's what's up.
Good.
I enjoyed myself today.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. Man, that fight gonna be awesome too.
So where is it at again?
Northfield, MGM.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
February 25th.
Oh.
So your husband used to do this in the here. It sounds like something that he'd be, you know, happy to go to.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's
so
local.
Are you guys selling tickets? Where are you selling tickets?
So you can get them online at WFC WorldFightingChampionships.com. I can't post the link over on the Solomon's page and his Instagram or whatever.
Please do.
Tag him in it.
Yeah.
That way you guys get a hold of it and we can take it from there. But yeah, the tickets are on sale. They've been on sale. And I know they are getting close to being sold out because we are only 2 weeks out.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to get them, go check it out. And it'd be cool to see everyone there.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I put in all this hard work, and this is when the fun is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like
I would love to come.
It's chosen suffering, right?
Yeah.
What we do is chosen suffering, but that's the time where I get to have fun and I get to see the people, and regardless of what happens, you know, I'm just fortunate. I'm grateful, super grateful, man.
You got this, man. You got this.
Yeah. But you know what? It keeps me in line.
Yeah.
It lets me know where I'm at. Like you're not untouchable. You got stuff you got to do to get there. Yeah. So that's where I try.
You're doing it. You're walking in your purpose.
I try to keep it. I try to keep in that conscious awareness. You know. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll be, you know, manufacturing my own bullcrap and buying it. Oh man.
Right, man. But all right. I want to thank you for coming down, and thanks for everybody for watching the Song Pump Radio Show. With MMA Fighter Mason Butler. Mm-hmm. Yes, his fight coming up at the MGM. Oh yeah, man.
It sounds ritzy, right? It's like at the MGM, casino show.
Yeah, high profile.
High profile, right?
I gotta say, but that ain't walking in your purpose, boy. What, you know what I mean?
And that's the thing. That's why I have to sit back and reel myself in, because like I go through the motions in life, and I don't get to see that how cool things actually are sometimes because I get caught up in them.
So people see that in here, they're like, wow,
right?
And it is wow,
right?
So. Congratulations to you, man.
Oh, thank you. I see you doing some awesome stuff too. I've been seeing who you had in and out of here the past couple weeks, and that's cool to watch as well because I mean, like I said, you get to live that out. Yeah. You get to live out what you want to live out too. So congratulations to you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No worries, man.
Yeah. All right, Size, you got anything?
I just want to remind everybody, of course, that if you, a family member or friend, have been affected by violence, know that it can affect all parts of your lives. Sometimes in ways you can't see. It can affect the way you eat, sleep. It causes you to lose focus, feel angry, afraid, or even use drugs or drinking as a way to escape. But we're here to tell you that violence doesn't have to keep hurting, and you can change your life starting now with help from the Trauma Recovery Center. I want you to take control of your life. Today can be the day. The Trauma Recovery Center offers real help for real needs in real time. They offer services for food, clothes, safety, emotional support, and a whole lot more. So listen, don't let violence control you. You can break free, and TRC can help. Give them a call at 216-644-5487. They will come to you wherever you are. They are free, 24/7, and confidential. So look, if you want out and don't know where to start, call the Trauma Recovery Center. The Trauma Recovery Center will help you take back your life after violence. Starting today, call today, get the help you need today. If you call today, they will respond immediately. 216-644-5487. The Trauma Recovery Center of Northeast Ohio, also affiliated with the Center for Families and Children. Also, listen, even though I said this about the Trauma Recovery Center, I'm not talking about what they were talking about. We're not talking about MMA fight. We're talking about uncontrollable violence, violence that isn't allowed, someone violating your space, your time, and your
I almost
energy.
felt like
Yeah,
I almost felt like I was on the wrong show here.
we are not talking about what these guys are doing is safe, it's legal, and it's on a volunteer basis. Like, this is what they choose to do. This is what they want to do in life. So yeah, we don't want to get it too confused. But 216-644-5487, the Trauma Recovery Center, Northeast Ohio, also affiliated with the Center for Families and Children. Thanks,
right.
Solomon.
With that being said, I will see you guys next Thursday. Keep God first. Peace.
Hey, listen, I don't think you knew how bad I wanted to laugh when you were doing your. When she's talking about
Dirty, low down. Yeah, so we'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Solomon Polk Radio Show here on the station where we don't bring no static, but we sure enough bring the noise on staticradio.net. Make sure you guys check us out on social media where we absolutely love to hear from you on facebook.com/No Static Radio LLC, on Twitter at No Static _ radio, on Instagram at The Real _ No Static Radio, and on YouTube at No Static Radio. Also, if you guys would like to listen to replays of this show and others on NoStaticRadio.net, please make sure you check us out on Mixlr, Mixcloud.com. Just type in No Static Radio on the toolbar for replays of this show and others. And for continuous streaming, check us out on TuneIn.com, live on LiveRadio.net, or MediaQ for an uninterrupted listening experience 24/7, and for all things No Static Radio, including up and coming events, merchandise, and then look at all our great show hosts here. Please check out our website at www.nostaticradio.net. We thank you for tuning in on this fantastic Friday. And stay tuned. Coming up next, you know we got the plus size Barbie in the building at 7 p.m. with Welcome to the BBW show here on your voice, the revolution of staticradio.net, powered by Google, partner with Colors, and sponsored by Lamont Avenue Wines, the Cleveland Rugby League, and Design Me exclusively, also known as Hot Girls Gear. You guys be safe. Stay tuned. Like I said, 7 p.m. coming up, we got the plus size Barbie. Stacey Stacks in the building. We're welcome to the BBW show. And, we'll talk to you soon. Peace.